Here are all of the major plot holes from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series debunked and explained as to why they're not actually plot holes, apart from 3, so stick around to hear what they are. But for now, let's start debunking them. Why does Obi-Wan Kenobi want to stay on Tatooine to protect Luke rather than save Leia? I mean, they're both children of Anakin Skywalker. They are both as important as each other, right? The answer to this is also the exact same answer to why Obi-Wan didn't want to help Nari, but does want to help Luke Skywalker. And it's because Luke is the chosen one in Obi-Wan's eyes. We learn this in Star Wars Rebels after he has his fight with Darth Maul, and Maul asks, is he the chosen one, referring to Luke? And Obi-Wan says he is. Now in the Kenobi series, it makes like a lot of sense why Obi-Wan would think this, because he's not even aware that Anakin / Vader is alive. But in Star Wars Rebels, he obviously does know this because he's had the events of the Kenobi series play out in his life. But I mean, to be fair to him, Vader didn't exactly come across like he was going to be the one that ends the Sith. I don't know why Obi-Wan thinks it's Luke and not Leia, as they are both children of Anakin, but he does think that, so that is the answer. Luke being the chosen one is seen as more important. Now, second up is a pretty simple one, so I hope you all watching do know the answer to this. Why was Obi-Wan so weak? Well, it's because he cut himself off from the Force. I mean, we literally saw him get his lightsabers out of the sand, meaning that he buried them in the sand, and I don't really know what more you need to see in order to realize that he is very much out of practice. It's pretty similar to Luke in The Last Jedi. They both cut themselves off from the Force, and they both get pretty powerful pretty quickly once they actually try to. But 10 years of not using the Force definitely has its effects. Okay, third. This is a big one. I've seen a lot of people annoyed by this one. How did Obi-Wan not already know about Darth Vader's survival? People are scared of Darth Vader, like really, really scared, to the point where they don't want to talk about him. And I'm also not too sure about how widespread the knowledge of Vader's name specifically actually is outside of the Empire and the Rebellion, especially within the first 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, because in the original trilogy it does seem like common knowledge, but that's quite a few years away. Obi-Wan also didn't exactly go out like talking to people all the time. Like, yes, I know he went to like that little job that he had, but I can't imagine the conversation at his workplace was often about like big scary Sith Lords. I think the fact that Obi-Wan doesn't know about this just shows you how much he has isolated himself on Tatooine, and it adds to the story. And even if he did hear about like a powerful Force user wearing all black with a red lightsaber, he probably would have assumed an Inquisitor if he even knows what they are. Fourth, the one that nearly decanonized the whole of Star Wars Rebels. How did the Grand Inquisitor survive? Well, Rupert Friend, the actor of the Grand Inquisitor, basically confirmed this already. It's because the Grand Inquisitor has 2 stomachs, so one gets injured, you've still got a perfectly good working stomach. And even if he was a human rather than a Pauwan that has 2 stomachs, he wouldn't be the first of them to survive like a pretty bad wound in that kind of area of his body. Fennec Shand, moving on. Now, another huge one, again involving the 2 main characters, possibly the one that annoyed the most people. I saw Star Wars Theory was particularly annoyed by this one. Why did Vader let Obi-Wan escape in episode 3? Well, notice how I said let him escape. He wasn't defeated by like Tala relighting the fire. He let him escape. But why? Well, it's because he wants Obi-Wan to suffer. He literally said this before burning him, and suffering can come in more ways than just physically. And I'm proven right in the next episode, as Obi-Wan is definitely mentally suffering following meeting Anakin Skywalker for the first time since Revenge of the Sith. Vader was very, very confident that he'd meet Obi-Wan again, fight him again, and win easily again. Therefore, he was okay with letting Obi-Wan escape this time and like suffer a bit more. Vader was right that he would meet Obi-Wan again. He was just wrong about beating him. Now, the 6th one is one that I didn't even understand before researching for this video, and it's how did Tala, Obi-Wan, and Princess Leia all fit into one snowspeeder with a pilot in it already, when we see in The Empire Strikes Back the snowspeeders definitely only fit 2 people? Well, the snowspeeders in The Empire Strikes Back are heavily modified, specifically weaponized. So we can assume those modifications, the increase in weaponry, took away the spare space that was present in the speeders at the time of the Kenobi series. 7 is, again, another one that people really weren't happy with, but it does technically align with Vader's previous acts. Actually, I guess they're future acts because it happened in The Empire Strikes Back, but you get what I mean. The Empire Strikes Back came out before this. It's why didn't Vader like pull down the 2nd shuttle that took off from the path base on Jabeam after ripping apart the first one with ease? Well, I don't even need to explain this one because one of my subscribers did a fantastic job of it, so I'll put it on the screen right now. Pause to read it. Well done to you. Now 8, I'm actually really happy with this one. It's probably my favourite of this whole video. You really do have to read between the lines of the conversation between the characters involved in this scene in order to fully understand it. So if you want to know why Darth Vader let Reva live, then you're going to need to pay attention. Firstly, listen to the specific wording in this clip.
Hello, third sister. Revenge does wonders for the will to live, don't you think? Your rage was useful. Now it is tiresome. We will leave you where we found you. In the gutter where you belong.
So what I've gathered from this is that Reva initially survived being stabbed as a youngling due to her lust for revenge, similar to Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace. But her rage is now tiresome because she knows she can't defeat Vader, therefore she can't get revenge on Vader, and Vader obviously knows this as well because he just wiped the floor with her. I think it's pretty obvious that she would have died after this moment if she didn't see the message from Bail Organa, which gave her an alternative method of getting revenge, killing Anakin's child instead of Anakin himself. So now the rage, the revenge, the ability to survive off of those things has returned, and she uses those things to do exactly that. She survives again off of her rage and her lust for revenge. But Vader and the Grand Inquisitor, as far as they're aware, left her for dead because they didn't know that there was a message from Bail Organa lying on the floor. Vader did not want Reva to live, and that's people's main problem with this scene. They thought that Vader let her survive. Speaking of that message from Bail Organa, it brings me to my least favourite plot hole to debunk in this whole video. I really don't like this scene. I wish it wasn't here, but I'm going to try to explain it. Bail Organa's message nearly gave away everything. He had a massive blunder. I really wish it wasn't included, but at the end of the day, is a character making a mistake necessarily a plot hole? No. Bail Organa is under a lot of stress. He's fearing for his daughter's life, and he just wants some reassurance that she is okay, so he made a desperate mistake. Realistically, this is just a bad way to skip a few steps in the story to get Reva to a point where she knows about Luke Skywalker to set up episode 6. 10th one is again one that I thought was explained pretty well within the episode, so again, hopefully you thought so too. How did Obi-Wan get so powerful so quickly? Well, I don't think he got more powerful than we've seen him before. Admittedly, he does look to be a bit more powerful, but if you think about it, if Rey can lift up a bunch of rocks in The Last Jedi after just a few lessons with Luke, then a fully trained Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi should be able to throw these rocks when he's at his best. How did he get to his best? Well, he was reminded of what he was fighting for, hence those flashes of Luke and Leia when he was trying to get out from all those rocks piled on top of him. Now this next one is definitely way outside of my area of expertise because it involves a hyperdrive. If Obi-Wan's little shuttle that he took down to face Vader and then off to Tatooine had a hyperdrive, why didn't Roken just fit it to the main ship that all of the people of the path were on at the start of the episode? Well, what I do know about hyperdrives is that they have different classes. Some are designed for big ships, some are designed for little ships, some are designed for military ships, and some are designed for civilian transport. So I'm going to assume that one designed for a little shuttle wouldn't work on the big ship that all the members of the path were on. But if anyone can explain that a bit better than me, then please do comment down below. Now back to everyone's favourite character again, Reva. Why does Obi-Wan let Reva live and do whatever she wants with her life at the end of episode 6, despite her now knowing about Luke Skywalker? Her existence is a risk to Luke's safety, the safety of who he now believes to be the chosen one. Well, it's because Reva is quite clearly not going to go and tell the Empire about Luke Skywalker being on Tatooine, is she? She hates the Empire, she hates its leader, or it's one of its leaders, being Vader. She hates the Inquisitors. She ain't gonna tell them. Why would she expose the secret of Luke? Doing so would actually be of help to Vader. Do you think that she wants to help out Darth Vader right now? No, she does not. Because of this, Obi-Wan has full confidence in her and can probably sense that she's coming a bit more towards the light side of the Force as she's letting go of her hate, as the only thing driving her anger was the revenge that she no longer seeks, as she's just stopped herself from killing Luke because she felt she was becoming the exact person that she wanted revenge on. She felt she was becoming as bad as Anakin, as bad as Vader. She's also probably thankful for Obi-Wan for helping this to happen, helping her come back to the light side of the Force if that is what she's gonna do. Because as we know, people that use the dark side, they are suffering, so Obi-Wan has helped end her suffering. So not telling anyone about Luke is probably the least that she could do, and she probably knows this. Now 13, this one links into one of the most iconic Star Wars scenes of all time, and it's of course Leia's message in A New Hope. I've actually tried to debunk this before, but since then more episodes of Kenobi have come out and they have completely ruined the explanation that I tried to give, so let me try again. Leia's message in A New Hope does make it sound like Leia and Obi-Wan haven't met, as why didn't she mention that Obi-Wan helped her? Instead she mentioned that Obi-Wan helped her father Bail Organa. I think this is the best way to put it. Obi-Wan helped Bail Organa in the war, the Clone Wars, and he now needs Obi-Wan's help again in a war, so Leia mentioned the war rather than him saving her from getting kidnapped. It doesn't really make as much sense to mention saving her from being kidnapped or make nearly as much impact. Years ago, you saved me from being kidnapped. Now I need your help to save the rebellion and win the war against the Empire. Doesn't quite hit the same as mentioning like literally the last war that Obi-Wan like fought in and helped Bail Organa in. Years ago, you served my father in the Clone Wars works much better than years ago you saved me from being kidnapped. Now, what you've been waiting for, the 3 that I can't explain. Number 1, why didn't Obi-Wan kill Vader at the end of episode 6? Honestly, I don't know. Obi-Wan has already made the mistake of not killing Anakin / Vader, and he's seen what happened because of it. Lots of people dying. So you'd think that he wouldn't make the same mistake again, but he did. Secondly, why doesn't the Empire follow up with Bail Organa now that they know that he is linked with Obi-Wan Kenobi? I could be completely proven wrong, and we see this explored in a season 2 of Kenobi, but as of right now, we know that the Empire know about Bail's links to Obi-Wan because Reva explains to the other Inquisitors that she kidnapped Leia because she saw links with Bail Organa and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the old archives. So obviously, once they know that Obi-Wan came and rescued Leia, they know that Reva's plan worked. They know that Bail is linked with Kenobi to this day. And thirdly, how did Nari, that Jedi in episode 1, actually find Obi-Wan? Don't have a clue. If there's any plot holes that you think that I've missed, the chances are they will be in this video, so go and check it out, and if not, be sure to comment them on this video, and I'll do my best to reply to them. And yeah, thank you for watching, goodbye.